David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have something for you I was very excited to receive and get a closer look at. It is the latest release from Visconti in their Homo Sapiens lineup, made from a unique combination of materials, and it is called the Carbon Noir. What I am going to do today is go over the parts and features of this luxury offering, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, as well as provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to the good folks at Coles of London, the US distributors for Visconti, as well as SD DuPont, for providing this pen on loan for review. This is one of those pens that as soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to get my hands on one for a review. The pen arrives in this standard Visconti box. The sleeve slides off and the lid lifts off. And here we have the pen. This is the Visconti Carbon Noir. Moire being spelled M-O-I-R-E. Now, from the beginning, the Homo Sapiens has been a unique pen, mainly made from a combination of resin and lava rock from Mount Etna. I just love mine. But this go around, they are using another unique material, which is carbon fiber. More specifically, forged carbon, which is a composite material of recent conception made by combining carbon fiber fragments and resin. This combination really gives this pen an organic appearance, with the fibers taking on an irregular and dynamic pattern. The Moire name is appropriate since it refers to what are called interference patterns, where similar patterns are overlaid upon each other to create a unique layered look. As if this forged carbon wasn't unique enough, it is amalgamated with gold leaf, which gives the material an additional visual aspect. When you're looking at the pen in some light, the gold really shimmers and really brings out the active material to life. It has a bit of a holographic or three-dimensional look to it. It's really breathtaking. Now, the barrel doesn't have any additional surface coating, so it has a bit of a tactile element to it. The exterior is smooth, but you can feel a bit of the carbon fibers and the subtle ridges and depressions contained within this irregular texture. Okay, let's go over the parts and features of this pen. The top of the cap has a coin with the Visconti V logo. This coin is magnetic. Visconti calls this their My Pen system. I've mentioned this in reviews of many of my other Visconti pens, but this coin can be removed and replaced with your initials or a birthstone or many other options. That typically isn't an option when you are purchasing the pen, but through your retailer of choice, if you inquire about it, they typically will have the pieces available. Next, we have the traditional Visconti clip, inspired by the Ponte Vecchio Bridge in Florence, Italy. The trim on this pen is made from grade 5 titanium, which is a special alloy that is twice as light as brass or steel, yet with a very high strength. The titanium has undergone a natural oxidation treatment, allowing Visconti to match the color of the gold leaf in the pen material. They do this by manipulating the chemical properties of titanium without using paint. Now, the natural color of titanium can be seen here in the clip in the laser engraving of the company name, which reveals the original material and creates a nice two-tone effect. Now, to protect the metal on this pen, a very thin layer of transparent nanoceramic coating is applied to it, which stabilizes the color and over time helps preserve the titanium from potential micro scratches. Beneath the clip, there are two matching cap bands. Besides looking nice, these dual bands serve a purpose. You could use them as a guide when operating the unique clip. You simply place your fingers between the band and on either side of the clip and just pinch. And in doing so, the clip will raise in order to utilize it. It's something that takes a little bit of getting used to, but after a short time, I found it to be a rather natural movement. The cap does angle up a bit past those dual bands, and then it straightens out, and the rounded step-down transition from the cap to the barrel is on the medium side. After that transition, we have this ink window, which I feel has been a nice addition to some of the pens in the Homo Sapiens family. It is a dual-purpose feature. It functions as a traditional ink window, as well as acting as a surface for some branding that you would traditionally find on a cap band. The engraving is filled in black and very subtle, and when this pen is inked, the lettering will essentially be invisible. On this window is also the number of this pen. This is a limited edition of 226 units, the 226 being a tribute to the atomic numbers of the two key chemical elements of this pen, with 22 being the atomic number for titanium and 6 being the number for carbon. The barrel is straight for about 2 inches before a gentle taper down to another thin band, which indicates the beginning of the vacuum piston knob, and the end of that knob is slightly rounded. The cap has a magnetized closure. The Homo sapiens typically has Visconti's hook-safe capping mechanism, but I'm assuming that this carbon fiber material made engraving it prohibitive, which is why they went with the magnet. And I find that it has an appropriate amount of strength, and in my testing, I haven't had any instances where the cap inadvertently disengaged from the barrel. Once you remove the cap, you are presented with a number 6 18-karat yellow gold nib. I've always liked the crescent breather hole mimicking the clip, as well as the flourishing nib stamping. I just think it looks classy. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The section isn't overly long. It's on the medium side. It's slightly concave. I do find this carbon fiber texture to make for an accommodating section. This texture is noticeable enough to help you maintain a solid grip, but not so prevalent that it becomes bothersome. I'd actually like to see this carbon fiber section worked into other Visconti models as opposed to slick metal sections. But then again, you'd be left without the hook-safe cap, which I do enjoy as well. Well, I guess it would be a trade-off, but this section is distinct and pretty cool. Overall, this pen is fairly light. I can't recall testing a Homo sapiens this light previously. Even without the excess weight, the pen feels solid and well built. This is a vacuum filler. Visconti calls their vacuum filling system a power filler. This one has what is called a double reservoir system. That's where when the piston is closed, the ink chamber and the barrel are sealed off from one another. So when using this pen, you would either want to crack the piston a bit or crack it every so often in order to let some ink get back into the section. This pen does post, and it does post securely. Though I don't know with this material, I'm not sure how it would react to repeated postings. So I personally would recommend using this pen unposted. The Visconti Homo Sapiens Carbon Noir is a limited edition luxury pen made from extremely unique and cool materials. So as you would expect, it comes at a price befitting those features. It can be found at authorized Visconti dealers for right around $2,000, which is one of the more expensive Homo sapien models out there. But I would have to agree that the cool factor of this pen is off the charts. The material is unique, eye-catching, and something that I would recommend strongly, considering if you are in the market for a pen in this price range. It's very special, and I feel it's one of the best Homo sapiens models Visconti has produced to date. Okay, now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. So here we have the Visconti Carbon Noir. I just wanted to give you another close look at this material. This is just spectacular. I just think it's really neat the way this hits the light. When it hits the light, you could really see the crevices as well as the gold leaf that is built in there. I just think it's a really cool and unique look and something I hadn't seen before. So it's something I really appreciate. In regard to some other Visconti models, here it is with a Divina. This one was called the Desert Springs. Then here it is with, we'll call it a standard Homo sapiens. Well, maybe not necessarily standard. This one was called, I don't know if it was called the Silver Age, but it was one of the first models which actually has 2 bands on it, and they're silver. And then they discontinued having that second band on there. So I've always kind of liked this one because it's a bit unique, because not many are out there with the extra band on them. And then finally here, we have my own Visconti. This is the Voyager Del Mar. I actually have just a couple of these left. So I believe that there are 3 of these left. So if you're interested in one of these, by all means, go to my website at figboot.com and check these out because they are close to being gone forever. And I was really happy with the way these turned out. And that's what it looks like in comparison to the Carbon Moi. In regard to some non-Visconti pens, this is what it looks like with a Sailor King of Pen Pro Gear. This is what it looks like with a Classic Pens LB5. And then finally, here it is with a Mont Blanc 149. In regard to some uncapped comparisons, here it is with that Mont Blanc 149, then the Divina Desert Springs, and finally the Sailor King of Pen Pro Gear. Okay, here we go with the writing sample for the Visconti. And this is the Homo Sapiens Carbon Moi. Is the accent over the I or the E? I can't remember, but that's how you spell it. And the ink that I'm using, well, actually, this is a medium 18 karat gold nib. And the ink I'm using, appropriately enough, is Visconti Turquoise. This is what the ink looks like. It's one of my favorite turquoises. It's rather vibrant. This is what it looks like in comparison to the Pineider turquoise, as well as the Omas turquoise. And this is what the newer Visconti bottles look like. I like the older design a lot. I'm still getting used to this one, but it's a nice functional bottle and a unique shape. And here we go with the rest of the writing sample. I do find this 18 karat gold nib to be very nice. It's fairly smooth. You can get some flex out of this nib. I don't want to push it too hard, but the ink flow is on the decent side for a medium nib. In regard to some reverse writing, it's very smooth. And then in regard to some fast writing, the feed has no issues in keeping up. So here we have the Visconti Homo Sapiens Carbon Moi. I just think this is a really cool brand new offering, and I am in love with this material. I think it looks fantastic, and I think that this is an excellent new pen to add to the Homo Sapiens lineup. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.